Hey everybody, and welcome to the 2022 Adventures of Andi Halloween Megaventure. All week long we are going to be making and painting and crafting and creating all kinds of cool stuff inspired by our favorite holiday, Halloween. You excited?
I'm excited, yeah.
I'm excited!
What are we doing?
In this episode, we're going to be using some fluorescent dyes and some black to turn this sock blank into a spooky Halloween scene. Now this is a stroll sock blank from Knit Picks. It is fingering weight. It is 100 grams, 462 yards of 75% superwash wool and 25% nylon. And we're going to be hand painting this, which is something that honestly we haven't done in a while. So why don't y'all move on in and we'll get to work dyeing this yarn. Come on. It's not going to be too scary. Come on. We have soaked the sock blank in some water with citric acid for maybe 10-15 minutes, not very long. We had it soaking in just plain water before that for about an hour, and then soaked it with some citric acid. And yes, we do have cling film on, plastic wrap on the table so that we can try to roll this up and heat set it without disturbing the design too much. We don't like using plastic wrap in this house. We've had this particular roll for years, and it was just like a 67-yard roll or something.
And we still have it.
And we still have it because that's how seldom we use it. But for this type of thing, where we're going to be steam setting it and trying to keep the design from bleeding onto itself, I have not been able to find a good alternative. And plastic wrap like this is what everybody uses. If any of y'all out there know of a good eco-friendly alternative to plastic wrap for this, please let me know, because I would love to switch to something like that. Okay, we've got all of our dyes in little bowls here. We mixed up 1% stock solutions of these dyes the other day. Okay, we have fluorescent lemon yellow, fluorescent fuchsia, fluorescent safety orange, purple pop, radioactive, and black. The fluorescent ones, and yes, all 5 of these are fluorescent. They are all from Dharma Trading. The black is Jacquard black because I already had that mixed up from previous. We also have a yarn mop. No, this is not all color from setting this up. Some of it is. We've been using this yarn mop for a little bit now. This is, I believe it's third use.
Third time around? Third time
around. It might be done by the time today's over with, and it's going to look pretty cool. We've also got some xanthan gum, which we can use to try to keep the color where we put it. Not going to be able to get really sharp edges. That's just not the kind of thing you get with this sort of technique. But to start with, we're going to start with just putting the different fluorescent colors just in random places all over the surface of the yarn mop, sock blank. You can tell I've never used a sock blank before. I'm not used to saying that phrase. We're going to put the fluorescent colors all over the length of the sock blank, and then we'll go back over with the black and we'll paint on our design where this is the bottom, this is the top, and start with like some tombstones and use stencils. And that's when the xanthan gum comes in handy, to put bats and spiders and witches flying through the air and moons and stuff like that. And just some also random streaks of black in there.
For the sky. Yeah.
For the sky, just to get kind of a cool creepy effect. Bearing in mind that once this is done and knitted into something, it is not going to look anything like that unless it's knit into this exact same gauge and shape, but we'll know it's there. So,
it's like a secret message.
It is. It truly is. That's the fun of sock blanks, is they're kind of a secret message. So We do have gloves on. He's so weird. The dyes are non-toxic. You do need to wear some sort of protective gear when you're mixing up the dry dye powder with water, just to protect your eyes and lungs. They're not toxic, but obviously any kind of particulate, you don't want to breathe that in. You don't want to get in your eyes. It can be irritant. Once they're in solution, not a problem. Obviously don't drink it. This is not food safe, but we're using gloves because we don't want to dye our hands any more than, I don't know if you can see it, but any more than I already have. Yes, I've already gotten dye on my hands. I'm not going to try to take these gloves off to show you because they won't get back on. All right. So Chad, I'd say grab a brush.
Get going.
And let's start doing this. I will probably be speeding this up.
You think?
Because this could take a little while. Yep.
And just random?
Just random. And one thing with sock blanks is that you can end up with resist showing, white spot showing, when you unravel it and knit with it, or weave, I've started weaving now, or crocheting or anything like that. We're going to try really hard not to have any of that by soaking it with the dye as much as we can and squishing it in to try to get all of the strands completely saturated. Right, Chad?
She says as I'm just kind of leaving little pale spots around.
How dare you, sir? How very dare you? I mean, like this right here, flip it over and you can see on the back. That would be resist.
But my yellow's pretty darn good, look at that.
It is. And over here where I've really gone dark with the green, there's no resist.
Oh, she goes dark.
I go dark. I go so dark. right, so let's flip this over and see how we look on the other side.
Pretty good.
Pretty good, actually. There's a few spots where
could use a little bit more.
Could use a little more, but we got some really good, decent coverage on this. So, we're out of the radioactive, aren't we?
Yeah.
No more green. Oh no.
What's a zombie to do?
I know, right? Deal with it.
How's that?
There's still some down there, but
No, purple pop right there. Yeah.
no, I mean like on the green and stuff too, but that's okay. Can you put some yellow there?
Lemon yellow coming in.
And then anywhere that we see like white peeking through. This is gonna bleed so bad. This is gonna bleed so bad.
Yeah.
I was just gonna go over the greens with the yellow. So now, since these colors, we want them just to be all random, we're going to go ahead and I'm just going to wipe up the rest of all of this with it. And yes, you can see I added a lifeline. I did that on both ends of the sock blank to keep it from unraveling while we did this. Wipe up all the rest of this with it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you could grab me that bin and bring it up here. This is the citric acid water that we had been...
Your bin.
Yes, my bin. That we had been soaking this in. And I'm just going to go ahead and dunk this in here. It's okay. I'm fine if the colors blend together on this part. Yeah. That's bleeding. I'm just trying to make sure that we get saturation all the way through on the strands. And let's take a look at our back of it now and see how that looks.
That looks pretty good.
That looks really pretty good now, I'd say.
A little bit darker because it's wet.
But I think that also helped to blend the colors together some.
Done with
That's
that?
good. And I'm going to take our yarn mop at this point.
You're going to toss it in here.
I am.
Oh, okay.
And toss it in there.
Good luck, yarn mop.
Yep.
You
Try to
won't
grab
need it.
some of that. Try to grab some of that color. You go for that. Okay. And I think that blended everything really nicely. Would you agree?
It softened a lot of the lines in the regions.
It really did. And now we add the xanthan gum. To the black.
How much you want to add?
Very little. Very, very little. We've learned, right? Over the years, we've learned.
Just going to dish out a little bit with the craft stick.
Okay.
Just as they say, there's those people who work a lot with xanthan gum sticks and give you a little bump.
A little bump?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like this.
Yeah. Oh, no, 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 not that much.
Not that big of a bump.
Okay, start with that. Okay. Try putting it in there for me. Okay, and I'm going to pour a little bit of the black in here. Try mixing it that way. This is not working as much as the last time I used it.
No?
No. Does xanthan gum go bad?
I don't think so.
Okay, I guess add some more. Because I know last time, like, a teaspoon was way too much. Oh, wait, now it's starting
There
to
you
thicken.
go. You're getting the consistency you're looking for, right?
Am I now?
I think so, yeah.
This is not wanting to dissolve.
You put a quarter moon on there.
I did indeed.
So apparently xanthan doesn't kick in until you talk bad about it and say, is it gone bad? And it's like, oh, I'll show you.
Here, you want to try this? I can't get it to do anything.
Stirring.
All right. How did it go?
Tell me what you think.
Yeah, let's try this and see. It's really gloopy. It just does not want to dissolve, does it? All right, let's see.
Looks like bats.
Ish.
Well, I mean, we were expecting it not to keep very sharp lines, right?
Yeah. You want to try the witch?
Sure, I'll do the witch. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Because for one thing, the stencil doesn't seal perfectly against the fabric.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
Yep. Oh, no, that's pretty cool. What do y'all think? It's a cool witch.
Like, we can't really see.
Fair enough. All right, so I'm going to go. Is this the one for the black?
Any one of those three down there could be used for the black.
Okay, I'm going to go down here and start doing some tombstones. If you want to use the stencils up there.
Okay.
Tombstones, I'm going to more freehand.
Oh, we don't have a tombstone stencil.
That's right. Try flipping it over and see how things look on the other side. You got this corner for me?
I will.
All right. Everything looks pretty good. Okay, flip it back. are you satisfied with this, sir?
I am.
You like
Are you,
it?
miss? Yeah.
I believe so. We've got witches, we've got zombies, we've got skeletons, we've got a wizard cat. Now we need to roll this up in the plastic wrap.
Like a Swiss roll type thing?
Yes, to try to keep anything from moving.
Yeah, remove dies.
That's a good idea.
Ready to roll this up, Andi?
Yep.
Do you roll it and meet in the middle, or are you just going to roll it from one end to the other?
I'm just going to roll it from one end to the other.
Okay.
And the reason you do this is to try to keep the colors from bleeding together. We're less concerned about that with the background colors than we are with the stencils. And of course, Chad's over there making noise.
Of course.
Of course. It's escaping! Ah! Halloween monster escape! And here we go. It's all rolled up. Now, if I had a microwave out here that I could use for setting yarn, then I would just heat this up on the microwave for like 10 minutes, 2 minutes at a time, something like that. But I do not have a microwave out here for setting yarn. What we do have though is a crock pot and a silicone steamer insert. So heated up some water to boiling in our electric kettle. You go ahead and pour this in here. And put our steamer insert in here. And we're just going to let this sit and steam for a little while. If need be, I will plug in the crock pot and turn it on. But hopefully the water from the kettle is going to generate enough steam to bring this up to temp for us. We'll see. And in case you were wondering about our yarn mop, yep, it's still going, and it has actually soaked up most of the color that was in that water. So you just keep going, little yarn mop. You're going to be interesting when you're done. Our yarn has been sitting overnight in our crock pot. We did not plug it in, the crock pot, last night after it cooled, but I've got a tub of just plain tap water, just cold tap water right here. I've never really had a whole lot of luck with steam setting yarn, and I often have to go back and do just a regular set with it. So we're just going to kind of test this first and see how much bleeding we have. If we have a lot of bleeding, then we'll go ahead and do a set like a normal regular set. But first we gotta take it out of here. Open this up.
Unveiling it.
Yes. And I just want to see how much bleeding we have before we take this upstairs and wash it. If I'm very, very careful about this, I might be able to reuse this plastic wrap too. Maybe, but I doubt it. You go over there. All right, so let's see. I am not really seeing bleeding. Are you, Chad?
No, I mean, it looks like the water might have changed the tone a bit, but not very much at all.
Yeah.
Do you want one of your white cups? Or do you not even really need it?
If there was a significant amount of bleeding, I'd be able to see it just from here. Now, I also do a, I had Dawn dishwashing liquid when I wash my dyed yarn as well. We got a little color coming out now. And sometimes that can make color come out when it didn't before, but so far, this is not bad. So I'm going to go ahead and take this upstairs and I will wash it and then we can dry it and show you what we got. Look, look, you can see our little moon with the bats and the stars. Yes, and the witch. Okay, if we end up having to heat set it, because if I decide that we're getting lots of bleeding after I add the Dawn, then I will let y'all know that, but I probably won't come back on camera for that. So. All right, we'll see you for the reveal. And here's our finished sock blank. I really think this turned out great. I love the scene we've got here, and you know, we've got the graveyard down here, and we've got the skeletal hands rising up out of the grave, and then we come up to our necromancer kitty at his cauldron, you know, casting his spell to call forth the dead, and we've got the witches' coven with their bats all flying around in the sky over him. I guess they're part of his coven. He's the leader of the witches' coven. And then of course up here we've got our little moon. And then all of these just really incredible, spooky Halloween-y colors. I like it. It's like a tapestry.
Yeah, I like it too. I mean, I will admit a little bit when we were first done with it, I thought it was a little tough to parse out the individual details, but I think that's just the nature of working with stencils on yarn. Mm-hmm. You know, there's going to be some bleeding, so lines aren't going to be crisp. But I mean, I can see what's going on there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have to agree that, yeah, it's, when we first did it, I was like, oh, you just really can't, it's not as crisp as I wanted it to be. You know, the artist in me wants nice, sharp, perfectly crisp lines, and you can't get that dyeing onto yarn. It's just, it's not the way the medium's going to work. But I think in the end, everything came out really clear, and you can see what it is. You know, you can see these are skeleton hands. You can see the little kitty cat, which, you know, I like that it's a little kitty cat. Okay, this bat here looks like one of the cat's eyebrows.
You should have put a matching one on the other side. You'd be like, whoa, shock cat.
It's okay. We'll live with that. He's got one black eyebrow. That's fine.
Maybe it's a witch's mark.
Maybe it is. But I really like it. And I'll admit, when we first got done putting the colors on, I was like, oh, wow, that's really, really busy. Mm-hmm. It's like fluorescent camo. And I had to remind myself that what we've got on the blank is not what it's going to look like in a finished object. You know, okay, if we were to knit it exactly this exact same stitch count, you know, per row and the same gauge, it would come out looking like this.
But then why do that?
Exactly, but then why do that? Just leave it like this. You know, maybe do some sort of a knitted on border edge to lock in your stitches down here, where we currently just have lifelines to keep it from unraveling. But otherwise, yeah, why do that? So it's not going to look like this in whatever it gets worked up into, whether that's knitted, crocheted, woven, whatever. And so I had to remind myself of that. Who knows what it's going to look like? I have been surprised by skeins of yarn when I've worked up swatches before. Now, of course, obviously, I won't be working up a swatch on this one. The whole sock blank is your current swatch. Now, of course, we haven't looked at the other side of it yet, because, you know, with the sock blank, we could end up with some resist, or, you know, the way the stitches work together. And I don't know if I mentioned this before, I did not want that. I want color all the way through. I don't want pops of white. So let's take a look at the other side. And it's not going to have the stencils. Well, it might actually.
If they bled through.
Do you think it will?
I think there'll be some, but they won't be as distinct, I don't think.
All right, well, let's flip it over and take a look. I haven't looked. Have you?
No.
Okay, let's see. Our tombstones, our cemetery comes through. And I don't think we have a lot of white in here. We have a lighter color on this side, but I don't think we have resist really. I mean, sort of the part here where it's really dark, you can see that there's not. And we tried really hard to get enough color on to penetrate all the way through. And I think we did a really good job on that.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
I do.
And hey, we've got a few bats that are peeking through. Yeah.
And there's the cat eye.
The cat. Yes! It's our necromancer cat's eye and his cauldron. The big question though, which I'm sure is on everyone's mind.
It's on my mind.
It's on your mind, is how does it look under UV light? Chad, are you ready to do the honors and douse the overhead light?
Count me in.
5, 4, 3, boo! That is pretty cool, I have to say.
And the nice thing is it actually helps everything that was stenciled on pop more against the background.
Yeah.
It becomes more distinct.
I can definitely see that. I mean, we start down here at our cemetery, and you can see that our gravestones really do kind of disappear in the fluorescent light. But we've got our skeletal hands.
And they actually stick out more, I think.
They do. Our necromancer cat over his cauldron. And oh, I didn't even see this before.
The bottle?
That's the bottle. I didn't notice that before, but under the fluorescent light, yeah, you can actually see that bottle right there. And of course,
tonic in.
I think it says poison or toxic, whichever. But yeah, our skeletal hands that really stand out very good. We've got our bats, and they do seem to look more bat-like under the fluorescent light.
And the witches pop a lot more.
They really do. With their little cats on the brooms, you can actually make out the cats now some.
Up to those bats again, and another witch. A lot of
we've
witches.
got a witch here, a witch here. It's the necromancer cat's coven. Here we've got our moon with the bats.
Another witch, and then more bats off into the end.
Anyway, I hope you all had fun watching us hand paint a spooky spectral tapestry scene on this sock blank. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up, hit that like button, and let me know. And if you have not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do that now. Make sure you turn on notifications because we have more videos coming up for the 2022 Halloween Megaventure. And you don't want to miss them. I mean, look how cool this was. You don't want to miss anything else, right? Right. Anyway, y'all have a wonderful day, and we'll see you on our next adventure. Bye, everybody. Say bye, Chad.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Knit out of this.
Yeah, what's that?
A monster amigurumi.
I could knit like a giant squid or an octopus.
You could.
Or Cthulhu.
Yeah, you could do any one of those. All three have tentacles, so if you want tentacles.